Hour of Asaase Cafe. We are live on 99.5. You already know. And we have our artist, special guest, plugged in right about now. Chame Kwame is his name. Ghanaian musician, entrepreneur, and philanthropist. He started his music career in 1990, right? Right there somewhere. Over 2 decades as part of the duo Achame. Before going solo in 2004, Chame Kwame has released several solo albums and is known for his unique blend of high life, hip life, and rap music. He's also the founder of the OK Impressions fashion brand, which took all of us by surprise, and also co-founder of the Hepatitis B initiative. As a writer, Chame Kwame has co-authored 2 books with his wife, Miami Kumasi Yonko, Annika, and it's called Love Locked Down. Find a Lasting Love Relationship. That was the first book. Maintaining a Lasting Love Relationship is the second book. And he also served as a columnist at Spectator and a writer at Ghana Web with his own blog. He's married, you already know, and he has 2 children and often incorporates themes of love and family into his music. I'm so excited to see him. It's been a while. Chame Kwame.
Yes.
Welcome to Asaase Radio.
I have never heard anyone say entrepreneur.
Oh,
better than the entrepreneur, better than you say it. Please say it again, I beg you. I beg you.
Entrepreneur.
Wow.
Actually, talking about cooking though, you mentioned that you're a big fan of jollof rice, right?
Yes.
So if you had to choose between a lifetime supply of jollof or a lifetime supply of your favorite musical instrument, which one would it be? We are breaking the ice right now. So jollof or instrument?
Jollof or sax.
If you had to choose. Constant supply.
But what would I need 2 saxophones for? I would choose jollof, of course.
To live,
I have one already.
You eat to live.
Yes, I don't need another one.
You can even buy one. You're rich.
Amen. Amen.
Masa, don't do that.
Yes.
You're also a big fan of comic books and superheroes. Yes. So if you had to create a superhero persona for yourself, what would the name be?
Mr. Love.
What is it about love, though, Chame Kwame?
Love is everything. Love is God in action. Love is the answer to all the problems in the world. Each one of them. Every single problem you mention in the world, love can solve it.
Really?
Every problem. Mention one.
Hunger.
Sharing of food.
Oh, that's love. It's an act of love.
Yes.
Right.
There's enough land for every human being. There's enough food to go around. The rich people throw away their surplus and the poor people can't find. But if we all loved each other and we shared, if politicians decided to share our resources equitably, nobody will be hungry.
If they were thoughtful enough to think about our needs as well.
If they loved themselves enough, then they will feel the pain of others.
Chame, what's something that your fans might be surprised to learn about you?
I am not a loyal person.
You're not a loyal person? What does that even mean?
So what's your definition of loyalty? When you say loyalty, what does it mean?
Staying true to your word, maybe?
No.
Whatever you say you do?
No, that one is being honest. Loyalty is usually to a group or to people. So you are my wife. Therefore, because Annika is fighting with Caro, I should also fight with Caro. I don't inherit anybody's problems.
And enemies.
Yes, and enemies. When people go out there and get presents, they don't come and share it with us. So I'm not a loyal person. I'm only loyal to my values. I'm not loyal to people or groups.
So you switch with the times.
Yes, if you are my friend, you're my brother, my sister, my wife, or my child, and you do something silly, I can disassociate from it as though I've never met you before. I'm not loyal.
This is actually interesting, though. So bringing it to the business side of this whole show business, you would say that this is what has kept you going over time?
Oh, no. Not at all. The loyalty, it's just the thing that has kept me going is that my parents were kind enough to allow me to express myself as an artist. And because of that, I started expressing my art very early. So I have one on almost everyone. I started at 5.
Talking about how it started, though, Chame Kofi was on my show. It was around the same time, Father's Day last year, with what's this guy's name? This xylophone What's the guy's name? Xylophone Media.
Bulldog.
No, Sammy Flex.
Sammy Flex.
Yes, and
yes,
he mentioned how you guys started, when he was doing, and then he met you and all of that. You became a group. You only just started solo after a while with him, right?
Yes.
So you take us back and run us through how
Okay.
you met and how this whole Achame group started.
Okay, so I grew up in Ashtown.
And the reason you went solo, because he told us his.
I hope it will meet someone.
Yeah,
So I grew up in Ashtown. I was born at Ashtown.
Right.
Or maybe I was born at Peki. And then my father, my senior brother is just a few months plus a year older than me.
Okay.
And my mother was a young teacher. She had just come out of training college. She wanted to work. So they shipped me off to Kumasi to go and spend time with my grandmother.
Okay.
So I spent almost all my formative years with my grandma. That's why I'm in Penynsem. That's why so I had opportunity to grow up in Ashtown, which is like a tough neighborhood in Kumasi. Then when I was around 8, we moved to Fantinu Town. So I met Ochami Kofi in Fantinu Town at a table tennis bout. So there was a guy in our neighborhood called Onana. Onana had a table tennis table that we used to do something called lose to pay. So if you play and you lose, you are the one who will pay for it. So I met Ochami.
You pay for the drinks, everyone is.
No, you pay for the game.
Oh, okay.
So it maybe costs 1 Ghana cedis for one game. Whoever loses pays. It's like cha-cha. So I met this guy, very good-looking guy. He didn't look like he was from our hood. He looked like a Dada B boy, B pechepe, And then, but he was extremely confident. So he came to play. I played table tennis, Basa. My father used to play for Tamale. My father at a point was the local champion the whole of Tamale. That he in the nationals, inter-schools nationals. So we started playing table tennis early. So I played Ochami Kofi and then I cut him. I scored him. Not knowing he didn't have money to pay.
Oh.
But Onana is a basa guy. He will beat you. So I felt empathy for him. And then my mother had given me money to go and cut my hair. So I used the money to cut my hair to pay for the table tennis for Chamiko.
Right.
Then I said, look, you are overconfidence. Now I don't have money to cut. What am I going home to say? Then he said, oh, I'm a baba. I'll cut your hair. So this is in 91. So I went with him and then blindfolded by love, sat down in front of this guy. He put a blade on a comb and shroud. He gave me the most beautiful haircut.
Oh, wow.
Yes, he was a barber, so he cut my hair. We became friends from that time. So,
you two were not actively doing music?
No, at that time, when I met Ochami Kofi, he was 16, but he had already written a book called Rings Don't Marry. At 16, he had done a lot of things. So I came to realize that he had also his own radio station in Fantinu Town that he bought capacitors and things, and he put it together. He was broadcasting. And so with a microphone, he was playing music by a mic, and he was the only guy in Fantinu Town. He had a certain radios. He had created his own radio station.
Right.
So when you speak to Ochami Kofi, you realize that he became matured very early. He lives in his mind. So we became friends. And then that was the same time when hip hop had become the jam and everyone was catching the fever. So when Shabarang sneezed in Jamaica, all of us got cold. So we started listening to music and we started practicing it. But I had already been introduced to poetry when I was 5. And poetry had become a part. So I realized that, okay, this rap raga thing, it is just poetry emotion, poetry with cadence. So we started it. So Ochami Kofi will write the rap and I will perform it, and they'll go for competitions with Lord Kenya, Swazi B, Sassy Park, Lota, some of the early hip life artists that came from Kumasi, Tebo B, this guy, Eyo, what's the Eyo guy's name? Joe Fraser, so we used to do rap competition. I always used to come first. I'm not lying. My children are not here. I don't brag. I don't lie about my childhood fantasies. I always used to come first, so they named me Whiskey.
Okay.
So Ochami Kofi was writing and I was performing. But then we realized that everybody was just a single rapper. So we decided to double the thing. So I asked him to come to perform with me, and reluctantly he came, and then we were winning the competition. So that's how we became a group. So from 91, 92, and then In 95, I completed my A levels, and then I was going to the university at Cape Vaz. But then something told me not to do it. So I ran back to Kumasi, and then I told my father I wanted to do the music. And then he made me promise, if you are going to do music, then you promise that you will never abuse drugs. You promise that you will never abuse women. And then you promise that you will at least get a first degree in my honor. So I said yes. And then he gave me the opportunity. 96, we found a producer, Piku Sly. I don't know if you remember. Embassy Double Do. You know, so we used to perform at Embassy Double. Piku Sly put us on, even though we didn't have an album. Yeah. Honorable Okreku Mante saw us. He came to Kumasi. He said, I'm going to produce you guys. And at that same time, we had found a producer from London, Spider's Web Records. So he will bring money. Okreku will manage the recording. And in 97, we scored our first big hit. Bro, bye man. That's the story.
And then you and Lord Kenya, like they all got to know you. You were in school with him?
Yeah, so I've known Lord Kenya since 88. I known Lord Kenya before I met Ochame Kofi. You know, so we were friends because he used to live at Eija. My father is from Eija. So we were friends, and we were in the same class at CAS. He moved from one school to CAS, and we're in the same business class. And we used to compete, you know, in class, rap, compete. So it is actually through Achame that Okreku Mante knew Lord Kenya. We actually gave Lord Kenya to Honorable Mark II to produce him. And so we did 3 albums, 3 very successful albums. And in 2099, our 3rd album didn't do quite well. But we had taken big awards at the VGMA. Yeah. So we had the opportunity to go on a tour with Kwadwancho that Lumba. We did one first, I don't remember. It's 99. So when we went to the US, I saw Bridge. I said, I'm not coming back to Ghana. This Bridge. And then plus my 3rd album, even though our 2nd album sold maybe 500,000 CDs, I don't remember how many cassettes it sold, almost 1 million. The 3rd album didn't even sell 5,000 copies. Our 3rd album had failed abysmally, you know, and that's the time, that was Lord Kenya's era, you know. So on one of Lord Kenya's 2nd album or 1st album release, we went to band, he invited us, and then when we screamed, why in the rap, the people said, Lord Kenya. So our US tour was the following week or the following month. So we went to the US, I didn't come back because I was 21 at this time. I didn't know how to deal with the failure, how to deal with the shame, and I thought that my career was over because I didn't know the theory behind what I had done. You know, so we stayed in America for 3 years to come back in 2000.
You and Ochame Kofi?
Yes, we all stayed there. We did all sorts of, I did all sorts of things. I speak for myself. So I did. I washed dishes. I sold oranges.
And you were not doing music?
No, I was doing music, but it was in my room, you know. And then at that time in 2000, my father had died, and Kunta at that time was like 12, 14, you know. So I stayed there to work because the money that I hope to make with this one, I'm doing 2 jobs. It was consistent. At least I can make some $2,000, send some home. You know, it was a much safer route to take. So I stayed in America, and then one day I realized I have to come back home. So I spoke to Kofi. We all decided to come home. When we came home, Kofi found a job at Fox FM. He was given a big check. He had bought a car, and I was taking trotro. And I'd gone back to my mother's house. Right. Because I came back to Ghana with $1,000 and a plan. And the plan was to become what I am today. Right. You know, so let's go and play show. I'm broke. Let's go and play show so that I can get some money to eat.
He's busy presenting.
Yes. Apart from the fact that he's presenting, he doesn't want, he thinks that, okay, that Chame that used to be there was paid well. And now they are paying us about 100th of how much they used to pay us. So now the gigs that are coming is KNUST, this hall, this. We are not getting to play presidential gigs and awards and, you know, big parties anymore. You know, so he's not interested. I'm broke. I'm hungry. I'm taking trotro. I live with my mother. Yeah. You know, so we started having misunderstandings with this. His approach to relaunching, go-to-market approach, relaunching the Achame Dream after hiatus for 3 years was completely different from mine. Right. He wanted to use the concept of scarcity and choice, we are scarce, therefore they should pay us. But I'm saying that they don't need to pay us because they don't remember.
Yeah.
So let us put ourselves out there. So this is where the challenge was. And plus I was broke. So one day, Elankra, who was my manager at the time, I remember he used to come to the house. I remember.
We were working together on GBC too,
yes.
me and him.
Okay, just working together.
Oh, yes.
Oh, good. I believe it. Tell that.
We're so cool.
Yes, tell that to the Marines. When they come back.
I'm the one interviewing you, not the other way around.
So
oh boy.
So L will deal with this problem over and over again, and then one day there was I'm completely broke. There was a show, like a tour from Accra to Kumasi to this place, to like a company had booked a tour.
Yeah.
A small tour. And so I took the tour. I went on the tour. And then I remember that when I was on the tour, I couldn't perform the Achiame songs. I would just sing my patterns, and then the absence of Achiame Kofi also made it not look good. So I came back and I started recording my solo project. And then I did the Tintinto album with Asaase and I became a solo artist. So that's my story. Is it similar to what Kofi said?
He didn't get into this one. Maybe I'm best of the bad person to say, oh, Nami, I'm in person, or Chame Kwame call, so the idea. But he actually made it look like you were the person when Achame started. He was just behind the scenes writing for you until you let him get on stage with you. At
like
the time.
I just
yeah.
Said,
So
yes,
that one,
yes.
But all of this he left out. So well, is this like the best thing you decided to do when you look back?
I mean, three of the best things that I've done in my life.
What are the other two?
To become a musician is one. To have married my wife. One, to get a first degree.
Right.
These are the three things that I've done. And all these three, when I was doing it, everyone said I shouldn't. I will fail. People who were afraid for me say, you are doing the wrong thing. You are going to regret. I remember when I was coming back to Ghana, the church that I used to go to, they loved me in the church. So the pastor and some of the elders came to my house. They were on their knees, Chame, you don't have papers. You are going back to Ghana. What if this music thing doesn't work? I said, what lives in me is bigger than what's out there.
Right.
So I will go. And then one of the pastors, I think his name was Anthony or Tony. He said that, well, if you go and you are broke, we will be sending you some $100 too. But we have don't say we didn't tell you. But I came back, I pursued my music, and look at me.
And
now.
you won the Artist of the Year. Are you still eyeing another one though? How did that feel?
It felt great. All my life I always said that one day I'll take my pregnant wife to the club. It used to be my fantasy that my wife would be like 8 months pregnant. I'll take her to the club. I'll be grinding on her, and
You did?
But my wife will not go to the club.
Of course.
Not even when she was not pregnant. The first time I took my wife to Kiravi, when she entered, everyone said, "Are you fro?" She had something from the neck to the leg to the.
Oh.
Exactly. She'll tell you about it. So she won't go again.
Yeah.
And so that day, I got the opportunity to take on stage with me my pregnant wife.
Right.
When I took the award, and it was the most beautiful thing.
So you're saying that people were afraid. It's not like they just wanted to, cut your dream short or anything. They were just afraid you wouldn't make it at the time.
They were afraid I won't make. My father was afraid that if I don't go to the university, I will amount to nothing. He was afraid.
Have you ever felt, the whole pulling down attitude with Ghanaians, and you even living in Kumasi, having to move to Accra? Was there a challenge along the way for you personally, aside the people that feel like, Chame, this one is not for you? You might not even get to where you want to.
Well, yes, but
there's a lot of musicians that say that Ghana force any no artists we can was do cry about no more so.
See, when I was,
but you don't give us that energy at all.
When I was much younger, maybe 15 years ago, I would have said. But today, I've come to realize that my life is in my hands. There's nothing outside of me that can dictate the pace of my direction and my path. Nothing. Not gossip, not innuendo, not pull him down, nothing. Look, I have not signed a contract with any DJ or VJ or someone on Twitter to share my music or to play. Yes. Everybody playing my music is doing it because they like it or doing it because they love me. So if you don't play my music, I don't fault you. I don't say you don't support your own. People are busy living their lives.
Yeah.
People are trying to find Gabins. They can't afford 100 CDs of Gabins.
Yeah.
You want him to go and buy data to share your music. Otherwise, he is
but
fake.
there's still support, so.
Exactly. That's so. Whatever support I get from Ghanaians, I appreciate. But I'll be honest with you. I think I am the one of the most fortunate musicians in the world. Ghana has loved me from the beginning. The times when they rejected me, I done something wrong. When I make music that is not appealing to the fans, it is because I didn't do my research. I didn't market it well. It is always my fault when something bad goes on on my career path, because no one told me they will promote me.
So why the need to pack up and move to Accra?
Because when I became Artist of the Year, and I was facing challenges. You know, at a point I had become that Kumasi icon.
Yeah.
You know, I became that Kumasi icon because Lord Kenya had stopped, and it was just me. You know, and then my wife found a job at Guinness Ghana Limited, and she moved to Unilever.
Right.
And she had to work at Tema, and I can't have a woman with a child just move to Tema, and I'm staying in Kumasi doing rapper. So I had to move with my wife. And when I moved, people didn't understand, but I was taking a decision based on how I wanted to curate my family. So yes, I understand that for the fans, it will be a bit disappointing, but I was doing something that will fulfill my dream. You know, not theirs.
It's always about you and the brand.
It is about me.
Have you always written your own songs?
I've written a lot of songs for myself and
all
others,
of them.
But I also encourage other people to write for me. So Kwacham Kofi had written some of the song. Asaase, he wrote more than 60% of the music. Abochi, I've written songs with Abochi. I've written a lot of songs with Richie. I've written songs with Kofi B. I've written songs with Samini. But I think that my core talent is poetry, and therefore I'm a songwriter. So I love writing songs. I was just a late bloomer.
And your spirituality, though.
Yes.
How has that even influenced the music, the fashion, and all the philanthropic work you've been doing?
It is, for now, it is the key, determinant of what I do, of my confidence, my ability to withstand the things that I'm supposed to be afraid of, meeting my demons, and instead of casting them out, dancing with them, so sure. I am what do I say? It has influeed my confidence. You should hear my new album. It's based on my spirituality. Everything I do is called love. The boxer shorts is called Love Equation. The book is called Love. The album will be called Love. And sometimes when we say spirituality, people are going into sacramentals. No.
Yeah.
Spirituality means to be honest with yourself and be honest with others. To love yourself and love others. To accept that there's something much greater than you. But that greatness is also in you. Therefore, you are capable of doing all you want to do. That's all that spirituality means. It doesn't mean burning incense and sitting down in a certain position and praying. No.
Yes.
It means loving yourself and loving others. And once I got to that point, it affected everything. It affected my diet. It affected my mental health. It has affected my size. My body's affected my relationship with my children, my relationship with my wife. It has affected every single thing that I do.
Would you say this phase is a phase every musician coming up should experience as well? Or is it different strokes for different folk?
I think it's different.
Looking at the young cats.
Yes, I think, I wish I knew what I know now at 47. But if I knew what I know now at 47, I wouldn't be this person.
What are some other regrets? Give me two.
I have no regrets.
Honest ones.
I have no regrets. I've broken a few hearts. Some girls that really liked me, that thought I was going to marry them, that I didn't. That I'm a bad guy in their eyes, Regrets. You see.
Or something you would have done differently.
The thing that took my career back was moving to America.
Okay.
But it is this very moving to America that gave me my work ethics. That's why I have a meeting at 11. I'm here by 10 o'clock because I moved to America. That's why I plan That is why I have this cosmopolitan worldview. So it is not a regret. I don't know if you get it. It is not a regret. I love every single.
It turned out well, so
Yes.
you can't really say it.
But even if it didn't, that's how it turned out.
But say, oh yeah. There's nothing wrong in admitting that, the plan to move to America was so wrong. I should have probably
But
stayed.
you see, it was wrong.
You're
but,
a lucky guy.
But it became right. So I think that we are all doing what we want to do, and we need to be responsible for the consequence of what we have done. And once you have done it, damn the consequence and deal with the effect of it, And if it's going to be right or wrong, it depends on you.
Are you a yes or no person? No, mojo kind of thing. If I were asking you something right now, you say, oh yeah, oh no. Or, it's not like straightforward, black and white like that, Caroline.
I want to believe that I'm a yes person.
Yeah, yes.
Yes, I think so.
So your take on the LGBT, is it like an open support for them now?
I think that it is completely wrong to beat LGBT people because they found two men kissing somewhere and they take cameras and video them and put them on social media for shaming.
Yeah.
No, completely. But the issue of whether it should be accepted into our culture or not, I think the nation must decide. But it is completely wrong to beat a dog, to beat a cow, to beat your child, to beat an LGBT, to lynch a thief.
Yeah.
It's violence, whether you are committing it on an LGBT or a thief or a child. So based on my concept of love, I see that they are suffering a lot, and we should cut them a slack when it comes to those silly things that we do to them.
20 years of music, Ochame Kwame, and then the philanthropic works, and then now you have your fashion brand. Where are you going with this particular boxer shorts? And whose idea was it?
It's my idea. You know that I have sensitive skin. So when
I didn't know that, please.
Yes, you don't
please,
know.
Pa.
I thought you were my wife's best friend.
Please.
Are you not my wife, Kumasi
we only
uncle?
gossip about you small, but we talk about ourselves more.
All right. So I have sensitive skin, and I'm happy you don't know. And
we
so
know now.
Whenever I wear my boxer shorts, I turn it inside out. Because the part that really feels good is the part that's always outside. And the seams, which is sensitive and it's making me itch, that one is inside. And since I'm not going to show my boxer shorts to anyone, I always wear my boxer shorts inside out. So I decided that, okay, I'm going to make boxer shorts that has no seams at all. That people with sensitive skin who have taste for quality can experience. So I'm showing one. Let me show you one. So this is it. There are no seams. You see?
Right. Oh.
So when you wear it, and then I chose the material is called modal. This material is eco-friendly. It's made out of the coconut refuse that we threw away. So that's what we get. And then so no animal died in the process of making this.
Okay.
Making this material for this. And we put also some perforated cotton here that will soak all the sweat. So this one is what do you call it? It's anti-odor. It's odor resistant and it's soft. Yes. But I tell you, the boxer shorts is called Love Equation.
Love Equation.
Yes.
So that photo you guys posted was deliberate, huh?
Yeah, it was to sell the boxer shorts, and I sold out.
And you knew what it was going to do.
Yes, except
and you said
that
I would do it.
No, except that I thought, okay, because I'm such a covered and a culturally conscious person, taking off my shirt would cause some eyeballs, would bring some eyeballs. But I didn't know that the conversation would be on the size of my penis.
Sir?
Yes. That one
it
shocked me. That one shocked me. Because
Anika didn't also think it.
She posted it.
Yeah, but you guys sat down, you were
we didn't go there. We just were looking at, okay, the six-pack,
right,
enough? Should we Photoshop it small? Or, those were the things. Should we post a black one? But we were so fixated on the commercial capital idea that we didn't look at the other one.
Did you feel bad after
after
seeing all the comments, the negative ones, talking about your age and you doing this at this time?
See, there's something that Christ said that I love so much. He said, unless or until you can see yourself as a child, you are not going into the kingdom of God. I'm telling you, as long as you think of yourself as an old person, everything that you are doing will gray. The world is for young people. And if I'm 47 years old and I've gone to sleep with another man's wife, or I've gone to steal money, or I'm working at Music Guy and I've embezzled funds, that one is disgraceful. But if I'm wearing my boxer shorts on my own social media page that I've used money to curate, come on.
If there's something I'm very confident about you and your team, is that everything you guys post is well thought through. So really, you're ready for whatever that comes.
Yes, plus, I mean, for 2 weeks of someone I'm disappointed in you, and then what? Not I don't know if you get it.
Even with your kids, you're not bothered because they're also on social media.
Yes, but
they're very active as well.
But they are not as active
as we may think, eh?
No, not at all. Because the amount of fun that we have, we don't even post 100
right,
on.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, traveling the world, doing the homework, being silly at home.
They're grounded.
Exactly. So, and Annika has 100% control over their social media. They don't even read comments. And especially my son, every time I go into his DM, some girl is trying to, you know, talk to him and say,
How
I
old
like
is he
him.
now?
He's 14 now,
14.
just turned
Wow.
14. You know, so they don't have the passwords to their social media page. It's completely managed by mom. And you know mom is tough.
Achami, today's rap though, contemporary rap they call it. Do you think it still has the basic elements of, you know, a good rap, what a good rap should have?
I think it's better than what we did. Completely. I mean, so I was on the motorway with my son about a week ago, and then he said, Daddy, if Nkrumah is our best president, then it's very telling of how who we are as a people. I said, why? He said, because Nkrumah was experimenting, and even he did this motorway and built this university and did that. And how about all the people who had proof of how it works, and they are not being able to do anything? It's very telling. So we were experimenting. People didn't want to listen to rap. We were experimenting. But what these young people are doing, what Blacko is doing now, adding melodies. Look at what Sarkodie is doing. Look at what EL is doing. Let's go back to even the young ones. Amrado. Listen to Amrado's rap.
Yeah.
Well, listen to
Lyrical
Joe and the Kumericans.
I'm telling
you. The only difference here is that their ethos is different. Therefore, their expressionism, some of the things that we couldn't say, they are saying it. But hey, they are writing their own history. But when it comes to lyrical dexterity, I tell you, when we were coming up in 97, how many people could rap? Reggie Rockstone, Achiame, Bookback, Exdo, Chicago. I can't count 10 people that knew how to rap. Now everybody knows how to rap.
Strong man.
The competition is tough.
So you think it has a future?
Yes, completely. The only problem is that rap music as a genre has sort of mellowed itself for singing, because this is the period of Afrobeat. And with Afrobeat, it is more melodies than cadences. So people who are singing are flying higher, like Kiddy, like Kwame Eugene, King Promise, and Camido. People who are, this is the time for singers. That is why as a rapper, this time, you need a singer to sing your chorus for a song to make a hit. But when we were on, we were the rappers, then the singers needed us to rap on their songs. For it. So times change. You see, God is not a human being. So he gives small to this one and gives small.
But you can do both.
Exactly. I can do both. But I'm not as great as Kwame Eugene or Kiddy though.
But you don't fear that it will make pure rap, you know, eventually just lose out on all of this? Because if you always have to get a singer on it, then what are you doing?
My dear, everything you love is behind what you fear. Everything. And once you are doing something that something tells you that this is dangerous, it means it's the right thing. So it is time. It will come back.
There's inclusion now. I mean, with the Grammys, African music performers, there's Ghanaian drill somewhere now.
It's beautiful.
Argument on what it is and who started it.
We did this hip life thing. This is 27 years ago. Was it in the Grammys? Why is this one in the Grammys? It's the right timing. And probably they work harder than we do. Completely. So, okay.
These young ones.
They work harder than I do.
That's what you think?
That's what I know. Look at where they've gotten to.
People are also arguing that social media is actually making it so easy. So they don't put in so much work. But you are on there, there's a dance to a song, and then in 2 weeks it fades.
That is not true. Social media has not told Ochame Kwame not to activate. Why am I unable to do what Kiddy can do? He works harder. People should stop pretending.
You don't think you have too much energy and you actually are able to change with the times, because a lot of your people think that, right now things are so different and it's not helping, because even Screwface mentioned how he can get on stage and wouldn't have to put any other artists on it and play like 100 songs.
Yes.
And finish a complete concert.
Yes.
But today, it's a lot of songs that do not last even for a month. And so when these arts are on stage, they need other artists to have a full show.
Times have changed though.
So you don't really
Times
have
have
to compare.
changed. When we were growing up, when you meet a girl, you tell her, I want to spend the rest of, how am I even going to say I spend my rest of, I didn't even know that.
You couldn't even get nudes.
I want to be your
Today
boyfriend.
You've seen it on the internet.
She will say, let me go and think about it. And then she come back 2 weeks to say no. Because her friends said you are not that cool. Now today you meet a girl on WhatsApp, she sends you pictures, news are flying. Everything. When you are getting information, Google. You know how difficult it is when we're doing our thesis for our first degree. You have to go and pick a Plato somewhere and get this one somewhere and get that one. And the literature review is tough. Now everything is on Wikipedia. This is the moment. The moment is for the kids.
Let's go for a musical break.
It is for the kids, Master. If you want to enjoy it, be friends with Kwame Eugene.
With Achame Kwame, and I'm loving every bit of it. So I just took his book. It's 2 books in one: Love Locked Down 2 and Love Locked Down 1. So the one is finding a lasting love relationship, and the 2 is maintaining a lasting love relationship. So I turned it upside down, and I mean the 2, page 100. This one here says sexual rejection. So this is what you said. I woke up at dawn to see my beautiful wife as well. She was up. I stared at her as the soft light piercing through the window hit her skin, revealing the contours of her naked body. And as my mind and body got stimulated, I thought to myself, oh my God, my wife is beautiful. My ego reminded me that what I had started could lead to disappointment, but I dismissed my ego's caution and proceeded with great expectations. And I gently approached my wife from behind, softly kissed her on the neck, and whispered into her ears, "You are the sexiest woman on the earth." Startled, she quickly wiggled herself out of my gentle embrace and dismissively, with the harsh tone, said, "Not now. Not now. You know I have a presentation in a few hours, right?" She looked away and carried on like nothing major had just happened. So this is your wife, not your girlfriend, rejecting you. Nana ya no pana. Mo ya mo pene se ahomachi ana na dwa na ewia.
But if you are going to be 11:30, no, and that's when you get a horse kick.
Right.
So this is a dawn.
How have you guys done this over time?
I think that when it started, we were both pretending. And then after a while, we gave up our guards.
What does it mean to pretend?
When you start dating, when the boyfriend is coming to your house, you keep the house clean.
Okay.
You cook, you let them, there's not a drop of oil in the kitchen.
That's normal, right?
Yeah, that's because you are trying to get to know each other, and it is normal to let your boyfriend or your wife know you are clean. But after a while, you drop.
How long is this while you stop pretending?
Maybe after the 7th year in the marriage, where that was when I was able to drop all my inhibitions and be myself, and not tiptoe around it. It's a very complex thing of marriage for me. It's a relationship between 2 images. So every time I see my wife, I get million images. Yesterday, she didn't give me sex. She didn't cook for me. She didn't look at me well. She didn't wear the dress I like. Therefore, today, she's not going to be my friend. So I come to that conclusion, and I interact with her based on the images of how I've known her for the past 18 years. So stop pretending means to look at my wife without prejudice or embellishment, to look at her in the moment. Now, once we got to the point where we both look at each other in the moment, whatever happened yesterday doesn't count. So every day is renewable energy.
And this is what you think makes people survive these marriages. If you're not able to stop pretending, then
you are both pretending. Because
you pretend that, then you just collapse.
Exactly, because the marriage is not about your bodies; it's about your spirits. It's about your souls, and souls know that you are pretending or not. So they can put a finger to it, but it's not real. Then it makes the whole thing pensive, and the energy in the house is not purple.
But shouldn't that pretense be dropped from your actions as a couple in the house.
But
it's the things you're doing
yes,
that
but
will eventually get you guys to now be very comfortable enough to want to drop certain.
exactly. So, for example,
actions.
if I want my wife to see me as a domineering man, that I put my foot on the ground and that I may or see a deal. And I do not naturally have that in me. I'm not that type of guy. I'm
Right.
that guy that will pick it up for you. And when you would do nice, if I'm jovial. Once I want the society to tell me that you are a man, you need to behave like this, be strong, I am pretending. Unless you are that guy. You know,
Yeah.
so you cannot be yourself when society has already pre-programmed you to play roles. You know, so once there's the role playing beyond a certain threshold, you are pretending. Because you need more thought to be able to think of what you are doing in a particular way. Then all the energy that you are supposed to use to love and be free and caress your wife, you are using all that energy to dominate her. Then and you're dead. You know, so when you let your guard down, just let it down.
Yeah.
And then you observe. So for example, every single day, I send a text message to my wife saying, I am so grateful that you chose me and you allowed me to do this life thing with you. And I promise that no matter which witch you grow into, I will still love you. Every single day. Because I realized that she's not the same Annika I met 18 years ago. She's changing. She's going through hormonal changes, children changing, ideas, money is changing. Everything is changing her and she's constantly changing. But it is only possible to continuously love your spouse if both of you are living in the moment. So
You're
in the
intentional
moment,
about all of this.
this is the witch you have become, but I still love you.
So should we look forward to a retirement baby?
She won't do it. I really wanted to. I wanted 3. When we met, she said she doesn't want children at all, you know. And I said I want 3.
Yeah.
And then so the first one, it was a mistake. Not a mistake, but it was unplanned. The second one unplanned, and then she went to close the place. So,
Are you fulfilled?
Hey, Radhi, what a beautiful question. No one has ever asked me this question before. I am fulfilled. I am complete. Even my wife cannot complete me. I am complete, 100%. I am happy. Every time my daughter says, Daddy, the problem with Daddy is that he loves himself too much. I am happy. And I'm not only happy because I have my wife and my kids and 2 cars.
Fans that love you.
Fans, no. I'm fulfilled because I have come to the knowing that the presence of God in me, and I'm grateful.
Thank you for coming.
You're welcome.
Catch him on social media. It's Ochame Kwame. Same spelling and Sasai.
Yes.
Bless you.
Yes. Carol, you didn't tell them where to get my book. Is that how
Tell
you
us.
are?
Tell us.
So go to
Look at what Tom was so that was your selling boxes. You know, can't say a Tomo.
Carol, my wife knows how to chop money.
So,
So
where can they get it?
so you can get it at Airport Shell. You can get Love Lockdown at all EPP bookshops, Kingdom Bookshop, or University Bookshop.
What of online?
Yes, it's also on Amazon. But if
okay.
you're in Ghana,
Good.
I don't think you need to pay that
Right, so
$20.
just
Doesn't
Shell
make sense.
and EPP.
Exactly. So get the book, read it, and give me feedback because I want to improve it.
Sure.
Thank you.
More books coming then.
Yes.
All righty. Thank you guys for listening. My name is Caroline. I'm out.